Buenos días. Bienvenidos a mi clase de español de hoy, otra vez. Casi en directo. Almost live, but not quite. Casi is almost or nearly, and en directo, I think I said to you last time, means live, as in música en directo, which would be live music, or a broadcast of any sort. En directo means live. Just a reminder also of things like bienvenidos. Bienvenidos means welcome. Hoy we looked at last time. Hoy is the word for today. And otra vez, which I've added here, is how you'd say again or once again. Otra vez. It literally means, otra is the word for another, and vez means time. Okay, so another time. What I really wanted to just focus on though for a second is these two highlighted yellow words, small but important, a and de. A and de. And you can probably work out the meaning of those from the context here, because what I'm saying is bienvenidos, welcome, a mi clase, to my class. So a means to. De español, of Spanish. So a mi clase de español, to my class of Spanish. We'd say my Spanish class, wouldn't we? De hoy, of today. So a good way to translate this whole sentence would be welcome to today's Spanish class, or welcome to my Spanish class of today, something like that. Otra vez, once again. Otra vez. ¿Y qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien. Muy bien. Muy bien. Muy, very, bien, well. Or you could say maybe good. Muy bien, very well. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? And just a reminder, you've got a few options of things you can come back with. Most of the time, hopefully, we're going to say muy bien. If you're not sure, it's regular. And hopefully this isn't you. But if you're not having a good day, you can say mal. Mal, which means bad. Bueno. So this is really episodio dos, episode 2. And we're going to cover mainly two things really. One is un repaso. A repaso is like a repass or a review or a revision of what's gone before. And you'll notice, guys, straight away there's a lot of overlap. So there'll be a small amount of new stuff each time, but an awful lot of going back over what we looked at before. New stuff that we'll be looking at is how you talk about your future intentions or plans, saying basically what you are going to do. And that could be what you're going to do next year, what you're going to do, or what you hope to do as a career way in the future. It could be what you're going to do in the next few seconds. So we're going to look at that as well. So a little bit of introduction. In English, often we use words, don't we, to start a sentence that don't really have much meaning. So, for example, so, or well, or now then, or right. These type of little words that are kind of like filler words. And I want to just introduce you to a couple of words that you'll hear Spanish people using. One is bueno, and bueno actually means good in Spanish, but it's also something that they'll tack onto the beginning of a sentence before they say what they want to say. So, bueno, blah 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 blah. And in this case, what I want to say is bueno, so, or well. Listo, lista. Now, listo means ready. So if I say listo, I'm asking, are you ready? If I'm asking David, or David, if he's ready, I'm going to say listo. If I'm asking Isabel or Alicia, a girl, I would ask lista. So as we saw before, you've got this O and this A ending on adjectives. And just a reminder that basically the A is an indicator of feminine, and the O is nearly always an indicator of masculine. So we're kind of hopefully going to get used to that. I've put a little graphic or image up of a shopping list to remind you that how to remember listo and lista. And the way maybe to remember it would be to say that you do not really want to go, or you're not ready to go to the supermercado, the supermarket, the supermercado, until you've got your shopping list. So listo, lista, ready. Okay, and list. If you can make that association. Another little word that they'll say at the beginning of sentences that you'll hear is entonces, meaning so, blah blah blah. Entonces, so. Yo voy a empezar. And the key thing that we're going to look at now is this structure voy a. Voy a. Voy is a really important word in Spanish because it's the verb, or it's the way you say I go or I am going. Yo voy, I am going, or I go. Just to remind you, in Spanish they don't use the I, they just use the main bit of the verb. So you can say yo voy, and notice that a V in Spain is pronounced like a B, yo voy. But if you went to Mexico or most other places that are Spanish speaking, you'd hear voy. But in Spain the V is a B, yo voy. So you can say yo voy, for example, I am going, or I go to the supermarket. Yo voy al supermercado. Yo voy al supermercado. I'm going to the supermarket. But here we're using it to talk about what we're going to do. So we've added another verb, and just to explain how it works, if I tell you that empezar is the verb to begin or to start, when I say yo voy a empezar, what I'm saying is I'm going to begin or I'm going to start. Okay, so yo voy a empezar or just voy a empezar. At this point, it's worth highlighting a pronunciation thing which will make your life very easy in Spanish, and it's the pronunciation of the letter E, and it is always sounding like AY in English. So if you imagine these E's being replaced with an AY, you will be spot on with your pronunciation. So it's empezar, empezar. Entonces, entonces. So E is like an AY, and a reminder that when you see the UE combination in words in Spanish, it's like WAY. So this is bueno, bueno, and you see this UE combination a lot. So voy a empezar, I'm going to begin, or I'm going to start. Similarly, if you wanted to say not I'm going to do something, you can say, and you want to say we are going to do something, is vamos a, vamos a. We is nosotros. So you could say nosotros vamos a empezar. Nosotros vamos a empezar. And this time we're saying we are going to begin. Nosotros vamos a empezar. Aprender, as it happens, is the verb to learn. How can you remember that verb? Because we talked last time about all little tricks and ways of remembering stuff. And I think the obvious way of remembering that would be aprender, to think of our word apprentice or apprenticeship, because if you are an apprentice or you're doing an apprenticeship, you're learning, aren't you? So that really helps to remember this verb, doesn't it? Aprender is to learn. So vamos a aprender, we're going to learn. Voy a empezar, I'm going to begin. Actually, what we will be doing quite a lot of in this particular video is repasar. Looks a bit like repass, doesn't it? And actually what it means is to review or to revise. So vamos a repasar, we're going to review or revise. So, bueno, entonces vamos a aprender. So just to practice a little bit about how you say going to in Spanish when you want to talk about your future intentions, here's a few verbs for us to look at. Okay, and I'm going to try and give you, where I can, little ways of remembering things. First of all, charlar. Charlar is to chat. Okay, chat. Empezar, we've just seen, is to begin or to start. Repasar is to review or to revise, and it's not too bad, this one. You can think of to repass something. Okay, to review or to revise. A big verb in Spanish, comer. Comer is to eat. Aprender, we've just seen aprender. Think of apprentice or apprenticeship is to learn. Okay. Vivir is to live. Again, quite an important verb. Vivir. The V's are pronounced like a B, remember? Vivir. And if you know the word in English, it might help, but you could think of vivacious. And if you describe a person in English as being very vivacious, it means they're very lively and bubbly as a person. So vivir, think vivacious if you know that word. And escribir. Now, in Spanish, often if you see a word that begins with es like this, if you lop the e off, it gives you something that approximates to an English word very often. And here you can see that you've got the word scribe, and escribir is to write. Okay, escribir, or to scribble. You know, that's close as well. So escribir, to write. At this point, I'm going to also introduce you to a concept that's quite important. We won't dwell on it too much, but you might have noticed there's three distinct blocks of verbs here. You've got AR verbs, charlar, empezar, repasar. These are the biggest group of or family of verbs in Spanish. You've got ER verbs, comer, aprender, and you've got IR type verbs, vivir, escribir. And we'll talk about the significance of that another time, but for now it's something maybe just to be aware of. It's the same in French. In French you have three sort of families of verbs. You've got ER verbs, IR verbs, and RE verbs. But in Spanish, same sort of idea, AR, ER, and IR verbs, with AR being by far the biggest collection. So just to practice this briefly, and this picture here that you might have spotted, I don't know how much help this is going to be, because this is probably something that your parents might know about, but you might not. And that is the idea of a char lady. And char ladies probably used to do quite a lot of chatting. It's not something that you hear very often now, but a char lady was basically a woman who was paid to come in very often to a house and clean and do a bit of cooking and all the rest of it, often probably for quite wealthy people, as opposed to a maid who lived in. So a maid used to live in the house and do all the chores, and a char lady was somebody who'd come in on a daily basis and clean and cook and do various things. So I always think char ladies probably used to be quite chatty people. Also, I think it's quite interesting is I always used to think, and I'm not sure I'm right on this, but the char lady in a large office would be the person that would wheel a big what's the word? A big flask or vat of tea around on a little trolley, and she'd go round to different people in the office and serve them tea. And char, maybe your parents or you might have heard the expression a cup of char, which means a cup of tea. And char is apparently, because I looked this up, is the word for tea in a lot of Asian countries and India in particular. And if you go into Starbucks, you've probably seen chai tea as well, chai. So it's just another little linguistic link maybe to English, really. So how are we going to say? I'm going to say something in English and you tell me how you think you're going to say it. You can pause it while I have a think if you want to. So how am I going to say I'm going to learn? Voy Voy a aprender. How are we going to say I'm going to begin? Voy a empezar. We're going to live. Vamos a vivir. Vamos a vivir. We are going to live. We're going to live in Spain. Vamos a vivir en España, for example. Por ejemplo. I'm going to write. Voy a escribir. Voy a escribir. We are going to chat. Vamos a charlar. Vamos a charlar. Think of the char ladies chatting. I'm going to revise. Voy a repasar. Voy a repasar. We are going to eat. Maybe we are going to eat paella. Very Spanish. Es un plato, a dish, un plato muy típico de España. And if you wanted to say we are going to eat, it's vamos a comer. Vamos a comer. Vamos a comer. Vamos a comer paella. How are we going to say we're going to live? Vamos a vivir. Vamos a vivir. I'm going to begin. Voy a empezar. Voy a empezar. We are going to chat. Vamos a charlar. Vamos a charlar. So guys, you get the idea of this. It's a construct in Spanish that allows you to talk about your future intentions. Okay? Now, just to continue with that theme a little bit more, and to give you a little bit more vocabulary, we're just going to focus for this on charlar, to chat, comer, to eat, escribir, to write. And I've given you some phrases that can go with these particular verbs. So, con mi abuelo. Well, we've seen abuelo is grandfather. And con, this little word, means with. So, con mi abuelo, with my grandfather. Con mis amigos, with my friends. And notice that the word for my is me, but when the my thing that belongs to you, if you like, is plural, like here we're talking about friends, amigos, it becomes mis. So mi abuelo, but mis amigos, because we're in the plural here. Often in Spanish you get two for the price of one. So if you know the verb comer here is to eat, you might remember that comida is the noun for food. So comer, to eat, comida is how you say food in Spanish. There's also a word for a room in a house, which is the comedor. Comedor. And again, if you remember comer as to eat, you probably think or probably realise that the comedor is the dining room. And it's also the word for, in your school, for example, it's the word for the canteen, comedor. So look, we've got three linked words now. We've got comer, to eat, comida, food, comedor, dining room or canteen. Now, when you want to talk about food being delicious, comida rica, you can use rico, or sorry, rica, which means rich, but it also means delicious in terms of food. And there's also the word deliciosa as well, like that sounds like delicious, doesn't it? And muy, we've seen muy bien when you want to say very well. So muy is very. Muy rica, very delicious. Comida muy rica, food very delicious. Pan tostado. The clues in the picture. Pan is the word for bread. Tostado, toasted. That's one way you can say toast. Pan tostado. Pan tostado. Next is un mensaje. And again, nice word in the sense that it's easy to link to an English word. And the clue again is in the picture. But un mensaje is a message. Un mensaje. And here it's worth just spotting that a J is a H sort of sound. You don't need to go overboard. Otherwise, you probably, if you're speaking to somebody, you're probably going to cover them in spit. So it's a gentle kind of sound. Or actually, you can even use just treat it like an H. So un mensaje or un mensaje with a little bit of a catch. Un mensaje a mi hermana. So a message to my sister. Hermana. Hermana is sister. Una tarjeta, again you've got, look, tarjeta with that J sound again, is a card. Una tarjeta de cumpleaños. Cumpleaños is birthday. De, we saw earlier, is of. So this is a card of birthday, literally. Una tarjeta de cumpleaños. And a tarjeta is a card as in the sense of a birthday card, a gift card of some sort. But it's also the word for una tarjeta de crédito, for example, a credit card, or una tarjeta de débito, a debit card. So it's a card in two senses, really. So how would you say, I am going to chat with my friends? You can pause the video if you want to. So, voy a charlar con mis amigos. Voy a charlar con mis amigos. How are you going to say, I'm going to eat toast? Voy a comer pan tostado. How are you going to say, we're going to write a message to my sister? Vamos a escribir un mensaje a mi hermana. Vamos a escribir un mensaje a mi hermana. Okay, so mi is my, hermana, sister. We're going to eat delicious, very delicious food. Vamos a comer comida muy rica. Vamos a comer comida muy rica. I'm going to eat with my grandfather. Voy a comer con mi abuelo, where con is with. Voy a comer con mi abuelo. We are going to write a birthday card to my sister. Let's try that one. That's kind of a little bit of a combination. How are you going to say, we are going to write a birthday card to my sister? Vamos a escribir una tarjeta de cumpleaños a mi hermana. Vamos a escribir una tarjeta de cumpleaños a mi hermana. So, again, just to point a little thing out in terms of pronunciation, where you have an N with a squiggly over the top, that means that N is not pronounced like a N, so it's not cumpleaños. You might have noticed when I pronounce that word, it's cumpleaños. So the N becomes like an NY, near cumpleaños. And años is actually the word for years in Spanish, años. So cumple is to complete, años is years. So what they are actually saying when they say birthday is complete years. I have 15 complete years, is how they actually would say it literally, where we would say I'm 15 years old. Muy bien. Bueno. Yo creo, I believe, creo que es suficiente para hoy. Hoy, do you remember? H-O-Y is today. Suficiente, sufficient, para hoy, for today. Yo creo que, I believe that, this is suficiente para hoy. Just to say that I'm going to try to post up a new video tomorrow. I've pretty much got that ready to go, where we will again build on what we've learnt today. Thank you very much. Gracias. Muchas gracias a todos. Hasta luego. Until then, literally. Or I could say hasta la próxima vez. Until the next time. Hasta la próxima vez. Adiós. Hasta luego.